Pat, it's Glenn. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us, and congratulations on the new deal to stay in Baltimore.
Thank you. That was quite the intro, man.
Uh,
I'm happy to stay in Baltimore. Man.
It's great to hear from you, dude. I'm grateful that you're going to be around because I'm grateful for everything you've done so far. You've been truly an incredible part of this community. Pat, were you nervous at all during this process? And I know you would have been excited wherever you ended up, but was there a part of you that was just like, dude, could we please make this work out so I can just stay here where I've started a family and things are good for me? Like, what was this like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was more anxious of just the possibility of having to leave Baltimore and start a new journey in a new city, new team, new teammates, all that stuff. But honestly, I was pretty good. I think I was actually more nervous once we got the offer from Baltimore.
Really?
Because once we got it, and I'm like, oh man, like now, like I want to make this work. Like I want to stay, and I want to, because negotiations, they can go one or the other way. You don't know what the team is going to offer. You don't know, if we push too hard or something happens, and then the team can just like, you know what, like this is it, or they can just pull it, or things can go either way. So I think that's when I was more nervous because we were negotiating for a couple of days. It took like 3 or 4 days to really get the deal done. So during that time I was nervous, but the start of free agency, I was in Napa Valley with some of the guys on the team and just drinking wine and enjoying the nice scenery out there. So
not a bad place to spend a few days.
Definitely an interesting week though, nonetheless.
All right, so were you involved? Like, are you the type that says, dude, I can't get involved with this. I don't want to hear what anybody says about me. I just want to let the agent handle everything. Or did you want to be involved in the process and know all the nitty-gritty details of what was going on?
I definitely wanted updates from my agent and also my wife too. I think it was just good to be transparent and how they're preparing for me for the free agency and what teams we're getting interest from, and then obviously when we start negotiating, I needed to know everything, and it's my life, so I feel like I had to get pretty involved. I even had to call Coach Harbaugh up and try to talk to him and just figure out a way. It got serious, man. Like I wanted to be back that bad that I called Harbs and I was like, hey man, like I'm trying to get this deal done. Like let's figure this thing out. And he did, man. He helped me and he talked to Eric and we all figured out the final contract together pretty much.
Look, maybe I'm naive. That sounds pretty significant. I haven't heard a lot of stories like that over the years, Pat, of going that route in order to get it done. Was it because it was personal to you at that point that you said, hey man, I need to know that my head coach is sticking his nose out for me, that he wants me here that badly?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was in Napa with some of the guys, and one of them was Justin Tucker, and he told me, he's like, hey, like, when I was first trying to get my deal done, I ended up calling Harbaugh, and I talked to him and stuff, and, that's how we pretty much we got it done. So I'm like, damn, like maybe I should do that. So I ended up doing that, and it helped. So sometimes being a free agent, teams don't really know if you really want to be back or so they don't hear it from you. They just hear your agent talking. And after I talked to Harbaugh, the biggest thing he said to me was like, man, I'm just so happy that you truly want to be back and you really want to be back because it means a lot for us to reinvest for a guy for another 3 years. And so I think that was the biggest thing that he took away from me calling him.
All right, I want to talk more about your Napa trip in a second, but we'll wrap this part with this. A lot of people talk about the culture in the building in Baltimore and how different it is in other places. And I'm sure you talked to some other guys as you were going through this about the possibility of leaving, but is that part of it? Does that speak to the culture that a head coach that could just sort of say, look, man, I don't care. Just give me the players. I'll go line them up, draw up the plays, figure out a way to make it work, was willing to be as invested in the process as apparently John Harbaugh was? Is that more of a testament to the culture that exists within the Ravens organization?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I've always heard that the Ravens are a top organization, top 5, top 10, whatever it is. I don't know. It's all I know.
Right.
I think it's a fair organization. Like, I feel like, when guys come there, they feel welcomed right away. They feel like they can be themselves, and you truly can. Like I've heard guys from other teams like if for like any media stuff, you have to get it cleared by the team first, all that. Like
Right.
I had one guy tell me like he had his hood on in the building, and people that worked there were like, "Hey, like, do you not want to be here?" Stuff like that. And the Ravens like, no, like I can wear my hood, and they did not care. It's not. They know that I'm there. I'm there for for a reason and what I'm doing, and I can answer any media. Like you can really just be yourself, and I think guys really resonate with that. And then like I said with the family thing, like they love having your family around, and Harbaugh like considers us a big family, so like we can call him and talk to him, just like I wouldn't say like quote unquote a dad, but like he will listen to you, like he will actually listen to you and try to help you in any way he really can. And some coaches are coaches, they don't do that kind of stuff, and that's another reason why I really want to stay, is just because the culture is just it's a very good place to work. It's a very good place to grow as a person and grow a family, have your family be a part of it, because the organization wants you to. They want you to grow as a person. And I feel like if you go some places I've heard, like you can't grow because you can't be yourself. So like how are you going to grow and also be a better player?
Man, that's awesome, dude. That's you're giving us like chills as you describe it, bro. Like, that is really cool, man.
Sure.
Pat Ricard is back with the Ravens, and he's with us here on GCR. We want to get a plug in. ProjectRunway.org is the website. We're hoping Pat and Haley are going to be able to be a part of it if the schedule allows for them. But it benefits Show Your Soft Side and the incredible work that they do for animals in our community. And I know that's something that you and I have talked about a couple of times over the years, Pat, and how you got involved and what a softie you truly are, correct?
Yeah, I'm actually cuddling with. I had two of my cats on me at the start of this phone call, and now one of them left, but the other one I'm currently petting right now.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. All right, so let's talk about Napa, all right? Because knowing you and seeing you and the type of foot, I would think Pat Ricard probably more of a beer drinker if I was just imagining what you were all about. Have you always been a wine guy? Where did this come from? And like, take me through how this trip came about, who was involved, and what was it? You? Was it the wives? Like, how did this whole thing happen?
Yeah, so me personally, I don't really drink much alcohol because.
Okay, well, you're a high level athlete, right?
Yeah, so like it definitely affects me. So I don't like drinking that much. When I retire, yeah, I'm gonna drink a little bit more. But right now, if I do drink, it's hard alcohol, so like tequila, or it's like a seltzer or something that just has low calories, stuff like that. So I don't drink wine very much at all. So pretty much how this trip came about was the Zeitlers, the wonderful, amazing Kevin and Sarah Zeitler.
They are awesome, by the way. They're so
love
cool.
wine. Yeah, they're great. They're amazing people. They love wine, and they've been to Napa, I think, 3 or 4 times now, and they wanted to do another trip there. And because they've gone a couple times, when you go to certain wineries and stuff, you have to get on a list, and that's the only way you're allowed to go to these wineries. And they're the ones who had like all this access. They knew some guy there that was able to get them set up all these trips to these wineries and stuff like that. So really, it was Sarah and Kevin Zeitler were the ones who like booked and planned the whole trip for us. And it was the wives that really talked. It was I went, Ben Powers and his wife JC went. The Bosens were going to go, but free agency they decided to stay put and figure that out. So they ended up not going. The Tuckers went with Justin and his wife Amanda. They were there. They love wine. And then there was another couple that the Zeitlers know from another team.
Okay.
And we had an Airbnb, and it was like in the lower Childs Mountain Valley, so like right outside of Napa, and it was like literally on top of a mountain. The house was, and the the driveway to the house was like a mile up. Like it took a mile just to get to the house. It was like super windy, mountain roads, super narrow. You could fall off a cliff. No cell service.
Whoa.
And yeah, and we were there for 4 or 5 days and just going to wineries every day.
Okay,
and after 2 days, I was done. I could not drink any more wine. I got sick from it. I got a cold right now.
Really?
Yeah, I got a sore throat and congested. But I was mostly there just for the sceneries and the good times.
Sure, I get that. Are you the type that, like, now that you've done it, you don't need to drink wine? Like, when in the scenario that you might drink alcohol, or again after your career is over, does this scare you off? Did you just say, "Dude, I ain't doing this again. I got sick from it. Forget that. I'm a beer guy." Like, how will your relationship with wine be after this trip to Napa?
I think it was a positive one. I don't think I'm gonna drink 4 days in a row like some of those guys did, but like I think it was a good educational learning process for me to really
Okay.
kind of like now I know what a Chardonnay is and a Pinot Noir and a Cabernet and like kind of how like wine's made and stored and all that stuff. And at the wineries, they're all tasting, so like you're inclined to buy some bottles. So the ones we really like to be bought. So I have more wine than I've ever had in my life. So they're gonna get shipped all to my house. So
Nice.
I think it was a positive experience. I think I'll kind of sip on wine here and there in the future.
Mrs. Clark and I like to do a like a B&B weekend every year, and we always try to plan it around somewhere where there's a nearby winery because it's her jam. I
Hmm.
am the type that like tries a very minimal amount of wine and eats a lot of cheese when we're at these places.
Bro,
Like,
it's literally I never had more cheese and meats in my life than I did this past week.
bro,
It's like
that sounds like a pretty good week.
yeah, it was pretty much my diet.
That's awesome. Did you get to smash the grapes at all while you were out there? Did you get to do it?
Oh no, I wish
Oh.
I never got the opportunity.
Oh
So.
man, that would have been dope. That would have been dope, dude. I would have been all in. I've never done it before. I would love to do something like that at some point. Pat Ricard with us here on GCR. Pat, is the phrase "unfinished business"? Does that strike with you at all in coming back to Baltimore and knowing, obviously things kind of went the wrong way injury wise for you guys a year ago, but how close you've been, how significant of a franchise you've been a part of? Does the words "unfinished business" in relation to a ship to a Super Bowl, does that strike with you as you come back?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think like you said, we've gotten so close to being in playoffs and feeling like 2019 was our year to really go to the Super Bowl, and then we had that awful loss against the Titans, and then next year we go to the playoffs, we beat the Titans, and then we have a crazy game in Buffalo, and then this year, we're number one seed in the AFC, and then all of a sudden we just lose six straight. It was a really tough way to end the year. For I think the season itself was just a challenging season. Every single game we had to fight our way to win. We had never had any games that we just straight up won. Every game was a fight. So for us to just end the way it did, it was just a hard blow. And I think we're starting to rebuild our team. We're starting to get healthy again, and I think we're almost going to be overlooked now because we have the Bengals, who are obviously a really great team. You have Pittsburgh with a new quarterback. You have the Browns with obviously Deshaun Watson now, and now the AFC West is just an absolute freaking who even knows. So I don't think the Ravens are going to be like. I think we're going to be the dark horse. Honestly, I don't think people are looking at the Ravens as like a top five team in the AFC right now. I really don't think they are. So I'm excited to get back to work and knowing that I'm going to be here for the long haul and make that push to really get to where we want to go.
And the Browns are the new betting favorites in the AFC North. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson's a hell of a quarterback. Nobody's debating that. But like, hey man, some other
Yeah.
teams have done some things over the last couple of
Right.
years.
It's literally like that every single year. I feel like the Browns are always like the number one team, and yet the season always shakes out to be what it is.
It has been that
But
case. It has been that
yeah,
case, man. There's no doubt about that. I
you
look, man.
quarterback guy.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm not trying to get like somebody's got. I never want to be the guy that like somebody hears something. You and I are just having fun, and somebody else is like, "Oh, what is he essing on this other?" Like, nah, man. We're just talking. Settle down, calm. Everybody gets all worked up about everything anymore. It's really frustrating. All right, so something you're gonna splurge on. You got a little bit more cash now moving forward. Give me something that you've been waiting on. Something that you've been I'm sure you want to do things for other people, and you get, the family now, the whole thing. But is there a gift for Pat? Is there maybe like a meat smoke or something that like you want to do for yourself moving forward now that you got the new contract?
I think the biggest thing is we've always wanted to more so settle down and buy a house in Baltimore.
Okay.
We've never done that. We've always rented. We've always had townhouse and apartments. You know, I was undrafted my first 3 years, so you just never know if I was going to get cut or whatever. And then I only signed a 2-year extension, obviously 2 years ago. So I think I think that's the biggest thing. We're really excited to really start looking and try to get a house. Maybe my wife needs a car, so she has almost a 10-year-old car now. So I think it's time for her to start looking to get a new car. And then besides that, I think the biggest thing to spoil myself is I really want a damn Tesla. I want it so bad.
Oh, I'd be so jealous.
Yeah, Ronnie Stanley has it's a crossover one. I think it's the X. I think it's called, or the Y. I think it's the X. Yeah, and it's so cool, dude. And especially now, with gas prices being freaking ridiculously high, it just makes so much sense to get an electric car,
bro.
But yeah, and what's really cool about Tesla too is I didn't know is you can go in there, completely customize and build your car, and only put down $250, and then you wait a year, and then a year later is when you pay for it.
Really?
And it locks you in for that price. So yeah, so it's kind of nice. You know, you pretty much say like, "Yep, I got my car," but then you don't pay for it for a whole year. It makes it a little bit better.
This makes me question you though, because you could have done this a year ago, knowing your contract was coming. Like you totally could have thought this through a little bit more, and like planned this out better. That you could have been getting into your Tesla today, knowing that the contract was on the way.
Well, I had to convince my wife. She was not like a full on board believer of the Tesla. So when actually this off season we saw a Tesla store, and I'm like, I'm bringing you in right now. And we like sat down with the guy, and she asked him every single question she had problems with, and every single one got like debunked. So I think she's now on board to get it.
It's great news. That is tremendous news. All right, we are hoping that Pat and Haley will be able to join us for Project Runway because we know how much they care about Show Your Soft Side and the animals in our community, and we love that. Again, that is coming up. Once you go to projectrunway.org right now, and you can get your tickets for Project Runway at Pier 6 Pavilion this year. New location for the event on Friday, April 29th, benefiting Show Your Soft Side. Of course, it's, as I always say, it ain't prick. It's P-Rick, P-R-I-C, 508 on Twitter. That's how you follow him. Pat, what else can I plug for you? The T-shirts, Instagram, what else can I get a plug in for?
Yeah, so back for that, Paul. What is it?
Project Runway,
yeah.
Yes.
So we are going.
Nice.
We'll be there. Yeah, so they contacted us, and we're excited because my OTA is April 18th. I think that it starts, so we'll be in the area. So we're like, yeah, we'll be there. So we're gonna be there. And I think Nick Boyle always goes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Yeah, we're excited. It'll be awesome. We get to hold some kitties and walk down the runway. You know, strut my stuff.
That's awesome.
Show off the cats. But yeah, besides that, who listeners of the show know that I have a website. It's thepatrickricard.com. You can get a Pancake Pat t-shirt, Project Pat swag, hoodies, shirts. There's masks. There's posters. There's I have like Pokemon shirts, but you know, not Pokemon because I'm not trademarked by Pokemon. But I got a Pokemon shirt. I think it's called it's something. It doesn't say Pokemon. It says something else. I forget. But they're pretty cool, dude. They're pretty sweet. Again, it's thepatrickricard.com. I also got a Cameo, so if you guys need video shout-outs, you can check me out on Cameo. Besides that, man, that's about it.
Hey, dude, we are so happy for you, for your family, and for the city of Baltimore because you've done some wonderful things here, man. Looking forward to seeing you and talking to you more often. Always appreciate you taking the time for us, dude. Thank you. And can't wait for Project Runway. That's awesome news, man.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, brother.